So today I'm going to show you how to solder copper together. There's many ways of joining copper. You can use push fit, you can use compression fittings, or you can use copper fittings with the brazing technique. So brazing, soldering, yeah, it's named a couple of different things really. But yeah, let's get onto it. So we're just gonna do a simple joining of two pipes together with just a straight coupler. This is a 22mm coupler. You can get 15mm, 28mm. Yeah, there's a few different sizes that you can use. But the first thing you want to do is obviously, I'm going to show you on some really dirty copper. It's really dirty, and obviously a little bit of clean as well. But the way that we first clean our copper, there's actually a couple of ways that you can do it. You can either use something like this, which is like an abrasive cloth that you can use, but you can also use some fine sandpaper or wire wool. I tend to use wire wool in this. I only tend to use sandpaper when there's sometimes, nice painting decorators always like to paint over the pipe. So that's the only time I really like to use sandpaper, to be honest with you. So let's get cracking. So what you want to do is get your abrasive cloth or your wire wool, and simply wrap it around the pipe and just give it a little clean up. As you can see, it starts to bring the copper all nice and clean again, just like so. As you can see, that's the tarnished bit, and that bit there is all nice and clean. But you can also use something which is Flux. This also cleans the fitting as you use it, and it helps the solder flow better as well. So if I show you with a little bit of this as well, sometimes you might have to heat the pipe up a little bit. I find is a little bit easier. So if I show you at this end, and also you can get yourself a nice blowtorch as well. These ones are kind of expensive, but you can use some amateur DIY ones as well. They probably work just as well. But obviously I'm in the trade and I like decent tools, so it does make life a little bit easier, but I'm not saying that you can't do it without just normal tools. You can. So I'm just going to heat this up. It might get a bit noisy now. Not going to do a lot, only needs a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is get a little bit of flux, and as you can see how it's cleaning that pipe up. So I always tend to heat mine up a little bit because it does help the flux clean it. So as you can see, it's nice and clean. So that's another way of cleaning your pipe up. And I always go over it again, to be honest with you, because it makes it even cleaner. There you go. So now that we've got the two pipes all clean, what we want to do is we're going to try and join these two together now, just like so. So I'm just going to cut this down because it's a bit long. So apply some flux to your fitting. Now a lot of people say you shouldn't really put it inside, but do you know what? I've been doing this for years, never really had a problem with it. As long as it's thoroughly flushed through. Yeah, I always make sure I do it because I don't want no leaks at the end of the day. So I apply it inside the actual fitting, and I also apply some around. I've lost my brush, to be honest with you, it's broken, so I'm using a stick at the moment. So I apply it around where the fitting's going to go as well, and just like so. and then you pop your fitting on like that, and you get a little bit of flux that pops out as well. What you want to do is clean that off, because what will happen is you'll get something that's called snot that produces when you start soldering. So, and you don't want that to happen. You want a nice ring around the actual fitting itself. So I'm going to do the other side, and then we're going to show you how we solder it. So I use obviously lead-free solder, because we're not allowed to use leaded solder anymore. This is the stuff that I use. Get it from Screwfix, whatever. And so what you want to do is you get a little bit of excess of flux on your fittings, so you just want to wipe it all off so that we don't get any snot. So first off, it's going to get a little bit noisy, but get your blow lamp, lower the heat. You don't need too much heat on it, to be honest with you. And then you want to work the heat around the fitting. And then literally, with your solder, place it on, just like so. Getting it all the way around, let the capillary action do its job. Sometimes it will fall to the bottom, which it has a little bit, so you only need a little bit. And that's it, jobs are good then. So you're going to want to let that cool down for a little bit now. If I bring the camera, as you can see, it's gone all the way around and at the bottom as well. It's not the best soldering, to be honest with you, but I'd rather have a lot more soldering now than not, because I don't want it leaking, and I don't want to have to drain down the whole system again to redo that fitting, because it's going to be a lot harder to do. So I always make sure that I get plenty of solder in there, to be honest with you. Yeah, and you would never have a problem. So that's pretty much how you solder. If you have any questions or anything like that, or whether you feel as though you know, I might have even done something wrong, let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe and all that. So that's pretty much how you solder, guys. But the last little thing that you want to do, once this is cooled down a little bit, is get your wire wool or a rag or something like that, because what you want to do is get the excess flux off, because it will eat through the copper and it can cause pinholes. You want to clean it up, it looks nicer as well, and there you go. And that's how you solder copper fittings. See you on the next one.